Good morning, everybody. It is Vlogmas. Today, 24. We have hit the end of the line. This went so fast. I have to say, I really enjoyed doing Vlogmas this year. So thanks to everybody for their lovely comments. It's so nice to know that somebody is kind of watching and enjoying. So on today's agenda, my sister came by to drop off her gifts for our family last night, and after she was done meeting the dog for the first time, and I told her, don't get him riled up, she just settled down. So it was funny watching her trying not to get the dog all riled up, because finally she just had to give in and just like smother it with smooches and puppy love. But she came by and I had her look at my brother-in-law's sock, and she said no, she said she thinks that'll fit. So, but a good idea to get him to try it on first before I do the second one, just to be sure. So I've got that done. So right now I'm working on my little quick project. So what I did, I was following the KNITS pattern for this part, and I started to just keep going with the pattern in the heel, and then I was kind of reading the instructions for when you got to the gusset, but it was almost like they switched over to knitting in the round, and I'm reading it and my dyslexic brain was just not computing what they were saying. So I just kind of backed up a little and went back down to where you start the heel flap. And I'm just switching it over and doing my regular vanilla pattern, because I know I can do that quickly and I don't have to keep looking at a pattern to check to see if I'm reading it right. So right now it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm just starting to get cold. I don't like cold coffee. But the dog has finally settled down. She was a bit of a handful after my husband left to run some errands. Anytime one of us leaves, she just does a little freak out because she wants to go wherever we're going. And she doesn't like being told what to do. So when you're telling her like to settle down or to get off of the baby gate and stop trying to like jump through it, and she gets all irate. And then she's just like full of energy, and then she wants out every 5 minutes. And then after about half an hour, she settles down. So right now she is sacked out under the chair next to me at the kitchen table. So I can finally get some knitting done without having to run her outside every 5 minutes. But honestly, so we're transitioning her over from the food that the breeder gave us to the food that I get from our vet. And she seems to be handling that fine, except every now and then, this dog is like farting up a storm, and honestly, the stench is toxic. It's horrid. So right now she's like sitting about 2 feet away from me, and every now and then I'm just like, oh, it's nasty. It's nasty. It's making my eyes water. So anyway, between the watering eyes and trying to hold my breath, I'm gonna get started on this, and I will check in with you guys later. So I hope everybody's having an amazing Christmas Eve. I know this evening we are planning on going to my brother's, itchy nose, for supper. So I may try to kind of wrap this up before I go and get it edited so I can upload it just like when we get home, because then I think my husband and I are probably, there is something weird in the tree out there. No idea what that is. Anyways, yeah, so I think my husband and I are probably just going to want to spend like a quiet evening, as quiet as you can get with the little furry monster down below. and just kind of sit back and relax, and then probably call it a bit of an early night. We've started rewatching Game of Thrones, which we just started that the other day. I've always wanted to rewatch it from the beginning. I didn't know if he wanted to or not, and then he said the other day, hey, we should start watching that from the beginning, because he said there's a lot of things, he said, because there was spaces in between, and he finds it really hard to keep track of who's who and the relationships and everything, because there's so many characters in it that he said, why don't we go back and like watch it from the start, and then we can kind of watch it all the way through at our own pace. But it's funny because you're watching, anyone who's watched it, season 1, you can see them dropping little hints that maybe you wouldn't have picked up in season 1 that sort of tie into how things go further down in the later seasons and in the ending. So it's really interesting to kind of rewatch it. Plus, it was one of my favorite series, so it doesn't take much to get me to rewatch it. So for now, I'm going to knit for a little bit. And then after my husband gets home, I'll trade off with him and I'll go shower and get ready for the day, do a little more knitting, check back in with you guys, and I think that's it. I am expecting a package. I don't know if it's going to arrive today, but I really, really hope it is. I ordered one of the winter bags, or from the winter line from Alex Collins, because I love her bags and I have been drooling over them. And I just decided that's going to be my Christmas present to me this year. I usually buy myself a Christmas present every year. I mean, really, I buy myself presents all year long because I go shop and buy a lot of yarn. But I love, love, love her bags, and I've been wanting one forever. And every season she comes out with a new print, because she I don't know how the proper terminology, but she does the drawings, and then I think they're put on the material. I don't know how you do that, but and they're beautiful. They're simple. They're not like overly busy designs. They just have this clean, classic design to them, and I love it. I love the aesthetic of it. So I decided to order myself one up. And expedited shipping was actually only $6 more, so I'm like, yep, let's do that. Merry Christmas to me. So I don't know if that will arrive today. I know it's in Canada. I know it hit Canada a few days ago at least. So hopefully it'll get to me before Christmas. If not, it should get to me before the New Year, but I'm gonna check my mailbox today just in case. So I can hear the dog dreaming underneath me. So I am going to let you guys go, and I will check back in with you later today. Have a great Christmas Eve. Bye. And we're back. So I feel like this was a semi-unproductive day. I did get started on my sister's sock yesterday, and then I tore out the heel flap and gusset from the pattern and went back, and I started doing, I feel like I've got this weird rogue hair. Started doing redoing the pattern based on my usual vanilla sock. I kept the cuff, and of course I forgot to bring it down with me, so I can't show you. But I restarted that, so I'm not gonna have that first sock done. So I left her a little note with the hat saying that this was part 1, and when she opened this to let me know, and I would send her a picture of part 2 of the present, and so which she'll find probably pretty amusing, because she and I are always seem to be at a race to the finish as to whether or not we get all of our Christmas gifts done yet by Christmas time. So I have decided thinking ahead to next year already, I picked up Jody Brown's hat vent. So it's basically, you see all of these different hats, some of which are based on her actual adult hat patterns. And I thought this would be a really good idea for next year, and using up like scrap yarns and stuff like that, of which I have plenty. So I might get started on this kind of early in the new year or over the holidays, and work on that. And yeah, so that is about it. We have about an hour and a half before we leave for my brother's, and then we're gonna have dinner there, and then come home and just kind of kick back and watch Love Actually, which is our Christmas Eve tradition. And then we're gonna go to bed and wait for Santa to arrive. And tomorrow my husband and I open our gifts here, and then we go up to my parents' house, and my brother and sister and their families all arrive there, and that's where the adults open their stockings while the children go down and play somewhere else. And then we have a big feed, and yeah, so that's about it. We're having an extra guest this year. My dad's best friend, who his daughter, who was a good friend of mine, passed away a few weeks ago. We didn't really like the idea of him spending Christmas Day alone, so he's coming over to join in the fun and festivities of the Boyce household, so I'm really looking forward to that. And that's about it. So I haven't gotten anywhere near figuring out what my Make 9 is for 2020 yet, but now that the madness of Christmas is pretty much over, even though I still have projects to do and to finish up, I'm probably going to take a couple of days and just maybe do some of my own stuff before I jump back into the Christmas gifts to get those finished, and kind of make a plan for what I want to do for 2020. So thank you everybody who came along and joined us on this Vlogmas 2019 month-long extravaganza. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed putting one out every day, and I actually managed to do one every day this year, so I'm a little shocked at that. But thank you so much for your kind comments, and I hope you'll all come back next year. I am actually not even next year. Come back for the new episodes. I should have one by the end of the year out. I can't even remember which episode it'll be. Episode 69 maybe? Are we at 70 yet? I don't know. We're almost at 500 viewers, so or subscribers. So when we hit the 500 subscriber mark, I think we're gonna have to have a celebratory giveaway. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys hopefully for the next episode before the new year, or right on the new year, depending on when I can get a day on my own here to record. So thanks again to everybody, and I hope you all have a happy holiday, however you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate, I hope you just have a fantastic week, and I hope to see you all again very soon. See ya!